Paris Olympics are officially over, and I have to admit that the men's sprinting events did not disappoint. Noah Lyles won the 100-meter dash in a race that went all the way down to the line, and then let Sile Taboho upset him in the 200-meter dash, becoming one of the youngest gold medalists we've ever seen. But you can't forget what Quincy Hall pulled off in the 400, because let's be honest, almost nobody thought he was getting a medal with the way he entered that home stretch. And anybody who actually watched the games knows just how impressive each of those men are. But they had to run past a whole bunch of fast men in order to get those gold medals. And while I was watching the races, I definitely noticed that some of those men have some very familiar names, because I spent most of my time focusing on college track and field. But I also figured out a while ago that being the best at the NCAA level is almost no different than doing the same thing at the pro level, or in this case, the Olympic level. Of course, it was easy enough to ignore, because most of those college kids were not getting medals around their neck by the time the events were over. Yet the 4x100 meter relay changed all that, because after Team USA screwed up the relay again, and Canada came through to win their second gold medal in 3 years in that event. It was South Africa and Great Britain who came through with the silver and bronze medals. And guess who was running the second leg for both of their relays? Carl Lewis's boys from the University of Houston. Shaun Maswanganyi did it for South Africa, and Louie Hinchliffe did it for Great Britain, which is kind of ironic, because Carl Lewis himself has said that Team USA needs to revamp their entire 4x1 system. And the same guy, who I think should be coaching the team anyway, is the one who now has 2 athletes with Olympic medals instead. And there's a whole bunch more that I could say about each of them. And trust me, I'm getting to that. But the truth is, most people don't really believe that college athletes are capable of running with the world's best. Yet all of the evidence from this Olympics, specifically only talking about the sprinting events, should put an end to that argument. I also don't have enough time to go through every event, so I'm not gonna try. But here is a breakdown of all the college men's sprinters who took care of business over in Paris. Some of them are names you might recognize, but for others, this might be the first time that you even noticed they were in the race. But I highly recommend that you pay attention, because some of these boys are going to be at the next Olympics, and they're definitely going to have something to prove when they get there. In the men's 400 meter dash, Sam Ogazi of Nigeria made the final. That might not seem like such a big deal, till you realize that he's a college runner for Alabama in the SEC, who just finished his freshman season. To clarify, we expected a college runner to be in the Olympic final for the 400. We just didn't think it was going to be him. I thought it was going to be Christopher Morales Williams of Georgia. He represented Canada during the Olympics, he just couldn't put down the same times that he was recording while in a college uniform. So I knew Sam Ogazi was good, I just didn't think he'd be this good in this Olympics. So good luck to the SEC if he comes back this year. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, the founder of SCArecruiting.com, where I rank the best track and field recruits across the entire nation. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. But in the men's 200 meter dash, there were 2 men from Zimbabwe who went on to make the final. But coincidentally, they were also the only 2 college sprinters who qualified to make it that far. Carly Makarabu is one of them, who dominated the sprinting events at the JUCO level this past year, and is now committed to run for Kentucky in the SEC. Notice I said he's committed to them, meaning he ain't even run there yet. Maka Sharamba is the other one. He competed for Auburn this past season and helped them win the national title in the 4x1. He did make the 200 meter final at the NCAAs, he just didn't get a medal while he was there. That's how much talent is actually running at that level. But he was a national champion in Division II just a year ago for the 200. And the 100 meter dash event was loaded with college sprinters. They just weren't American, which is why most people didn't notice. In fact, 5 finalists from the NCAA 100 made the semifinals at the games, and they only came from 3 colleges. 2 of them competed for Auburn, just like Maka Sharamba. I'm pretty sure that's a good explanation for how that 4x1 won the national title. They both competed for Nigeria, but Abdul Rashid Saminu of Ghana, who who also competes for South Florida, beat out Ferdinand Omanyala in the 100-meter semifinals. And if you couldn't already figure it out, Carl Lewis's boys, Shaun Maswanganyi of South Africa and Louie Hinchliffe of Great Britain, were the fastest college runners in the field. They went 15th and 11th in the semifinal. Shaun has been an NCAA finalist in the short sprinting events for his entire college career, and he's run 4 seasons at that level. And the entire NCAA already knows that Louie Hinchliffe is a problem. He won the NCAA title in that event, but he was the fastest runner in every single round that he ran, from the national quarterfinal on down. And when he got to the games, his time in the semifinals would have made the final in every single year historically. He just happened to run in the 1 year where everybody wanted to break 10 in the semifinal. He even won his preliminary heat, the same heat that he was in with Noah Lyles himself, who is now the Olympic gold medalist in that event. So yes, he is legit, which also explains why he, along with Shaun Maswanganyi, are Olympic medalists in the 4x1. And if you don't understand how big a deal this is, allow me to break this down to you real quick. The second leg on a 4x1 is incredibly important. Most people focus on the anchor because they're the one who runs through the line. But the second leg is arguably the longest leg between the way the stick is handed off to begin and the way you hand it off at the end. Typically speaking, your second leg is either going to be where your fastest or second fastest man on your relay is going to run. Shaun Maswanganyi and Louie Hinchliffe both were running on that leg. They were not just bodies on those 4x1s. They were being depended on. Without their performances, they ain't getting no medals for the entire country. Louie Hinchliffe just finished his sophomore season, and as far as I know, has no plans on leaving college early. So good luck out there in the Big 12, or for that matter, the rest of the NCAA, because you're gonna have to deal with him next season. The reason why it's so hard to win an NCAA championship is because the talent you need to pull it off is basically the same talent that would get you into an Olympic final. Simply put, you can go pro in track and field if you have the talent and you really want to. But staying in college is just about as hard if the goal is to actually win something. Christian Miller was the #1 high school recruit for the class of 2024. He was committed to Georgia, but decided to turn pro immediately after the Olympic trials. And it was actually Justin Gatlin who said the reason why he probably should turn pro is to avoid competing against all the fast men who are going to show up in college. His argument was that by going pro now, he can get to the same place where those men are trying to get to without having to risk losing to them first. That is a whole nother conversation for another day. But if we just focus on the integrity of what he said, he clearly knows the truth that the rest of the world is just finding out. That college track and field at its highest level is basically Olympic level. And now, some of them have the hardware to back it up. SCA track and field gear is here. Fast is a lifestyle, and what you wear should reflect that. Order yours at scarecruiting.com/shop. or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.